Hello, 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 and good afternoon. Just bear with us, just connecting to Facebook as well as on Instagram. So Yvette, if you want to ask to join the conversation.
Yeah, I think I just have.
Yeah, I just did it now, so I'm adding you.
Should I put just my headphones on just to make sure I don't get any feedback?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to join on my Instagram, Facebook. Are we live on Facebook? I think you need to adjust your screen because it's you're showing upside down.
Oh, right. Okay.
Technology on Instagram. Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. That's perfect. So Facebook, I can see we are live on Facebook as well. And yes, I can see we are live. Is anyone watching? How is the sound quality on Facebook? How is the sound quality on Instagram? Is anyone there?
See whether I can hear it for some reason, even though I've knocked down this volume.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so let's start. We are live, and let me just focus on the on here. Oops, something wrong. Something going slow. Okay, bear with us. Okay, yes, we are live and we are good to go. Welcome, and let's start. Good afternoon, and welcome to Pestana's HR and Coaching for another interview of the Career Champions. So Career Champions is a series of inspiring interviews with incredible people that follow their desires and really went for the career of their dreams, creating a successful career for themselves as well. The Career Champions was created to show that everything is possible. Everything is possible. You can have the career you want. It might take some work, but everything is possible. And the bonus from that is that you can create the career that you are so passionate about, be successful, and even create your own business from it. And that's what we will be discussing today as well. My name is Lucia Margarida Pestana. I am a HR professional. I'm a mentor, as well as a career coach. I've been working in HR industry for the last 9 years. I have successfully created departments from scratch, invested in people, as well as I've met so many different people, from employees to managers. As you know, in hospitality is an industry that you get a lot of rotation. So I get to be exposed to a lot of people's different careers. I have met Yvette a few years ago, about 4 years ago, and I was always very intrigued with what she does. So Yvette is, she's also a flower healer, and she also has, she's also called the spiritual flower lady. So I would like to welcome Yvette for this Career Champions interview. Welcome, and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure, I have to say. Let's start with the first question. I understand that you had different careers throughout your life, and I know that you worked in the fashion industry, which I think some people already saw your beautiful post this morning as well, and now you have created a successful business, in flower healing and flower therapy. Can you tell us a bit about your career journey, giving us, a bit of insight of how it has been so far?
how I begun to get into the flower work. Yeah. So I had an online business where I was selling, providing a service of organic cotton children's clothing. And that all came about because my son had eczema, and I needed to, I wanted him to be in clothing that was cotton and wasn't polyester, man-made fibres, and had lots of chemicals on it, because that's what does irritate the skin. So having done, my pattern cutting background and working in the fashion industry, my husband would said to me, well, why don't you do something about it? Because you've got all these contacts and all this knowledge. So why don't you do something that you can help them with? So this is where I started my journey into looking at eco cotton. And that's where I created organic cotton school clothing for children. Felt really blessed whilst doing it, because I just did it because my son had eczema, so that's the only skin condition that I really knew about. But as it was moving through, lots of people were messaging me saying how the clothing has really helped their child, because they've got lots of different skin elements going on out there. A lady was saying her daughter couldn't put clothes on her skin because her skin was always red hot for all the polyester and different types of fabrics that they would use, and how the school clothing helped her. But as it was, organic cotton wasn't the in thing there back then. It was on the tip of everybody's lips, but no big fashion houses were doing a lot of it. There's just doing a little chain of it. So I ended up having to close down that business because the call for it wasn't great, and the company I was using was small. It's a factory in India. So it came to a close, which was quite sad, because I'm thinking, how are these people all going to survive now without having, beautiful organic clothing for their children? Then my mother-in-law, as well as my accountant, was saying to me, why don't you go and do something with flowers? And I didn't understand where that was coming from, because I've always loved flowers. My husband's given me flowers ever since we've known each other. I'd always go out and buy myself flowers. So I took their advice and did a taster course at a school, Judith Blacklock School in Knightsbridge. And I felt there was something there. I enjoyed it. Then did a business course there. It was a 2-week intensive course. And that's where it's all begun. So it's what I call my flower journey. It's where I began to see that there was more to flowers than just the obvious beauty we see when people give us a bunch of flowers. I realised when flowers catch your eye, there's something more going on. And as I was sort of networking in the beginning, just to sort of get my work out there by creating flower arrangements for people, I came across a lady who suggested I read a book called Flower Therapy. When I got the book, I thought it was going to be a great book about, creating really beautiful arrangements and things like this. And when I got the book, it was kind of talking about fairies and angels and kind of things that I wasn't used to hearing. I've always been kind of spiritual, so I've been open to lots of different things. But this book really opened my eyes to it, what the connection with flowers is. And as I've moved through creating flower arrangements, and then I would always take the time out and connect with flowers. And this book set me on my journey. I ended up doing a flower healer certification course with Robert Reeves. And that's just kind of just opened me up. So I've taken what I was taught, and as you grow and as you expand in life, you pick up different things. And I've worked with people who do angelic healing and taught me how to communicate with angel, get the angel guidance. There's been shamanic energy that's come through me that I've opened up through other teachers teaching me how to connect with the energy. So there's a lot that I've brought into what I first found out over 3 years ago, and kind of now making it part of me. It's my own thing. And my whole purpose is to teach people about the flowers, get everybody to understand that there's more to just the flower that you see when you get them in your hand, that there's an energy behind and there's a meaning behind it. And it's for people to connect to that meaning, to connect to that energy. Wow. When I do the work with the flowers, it's always connected to like that inner flame within us. So whenever I'm doing a flower reading with flower healing, there's always a connection to that inner flame that we have. And when I say the inner flame, it's something that we've got within us that keeps us excited about life, keeps us burning. And sometimes we can end up putting that fire out, or just dulling that flame a bit by not fulfilling what we want to do. And that's one thing I help people move
That
through.
is so true. That is so true. You see, I mean, for the people that are actually watching us, just to give you an example, you see these beautiful red roses that I have here. So on Friday, Yvette done a card reading on her group, and she pulled out a card for me. And the message from the card suggested that I needed some healing myself, and the red rose is very powerful to be able to let go of the old energies. So I went and got myself flowers. So trust me, once you hear Yvette speak about flowers, you will never ever look at a flower the same way ever again, and that's exactly what happened to me. And I'm so glad that you have transitioned from being in the fashion to to creating your own successful flower business. Can you tell us a bit what were the biggest challenges that you faced when you were transitioning from having your own business to completely retraining as a flower therapist? What was your biggest challenges?
It was moving into a completely different area that I didn't really know anything about. So the first thing when people say, oh, well, you're doing flowers, oh, you're going to open up a flower shop, and looking into that, that's really hard work as well, because it's early hours and you've got buying stock, you might not be able to sell all the stock. So there was ways, it was like, what are you going to be doing with it? And it has been a challenge, because everybody is with flowers. There's lots of florists, there's lots of flower shops around, and a lot of people have their own connection to their florist that they will stick to them, and it's hard for you to, it's finding what is it that you have that their florist doesn't have, why would they come to you? But then I didn't realize that my passion and my thing with flowers is not just going to be me doing flower arrangements, it's going to be an internal thing, it's going to be a healing thing. So it was the challenge was for me to understand and comprehend what was going on. Whenever you're starting in something new and you've just finished the end of something else, there's that fear of not knowing, where's it going to take you, what's it going to do. The first thing we're looking at is it going to bring money for you? So these are all things that came up. But I'm a believer of, sometimes if you're following a plan or a dream that you have, or things just feel right within you, just keep following in that way. And I've always kind of been like that, like a dog with a bone. Won't let it go until I want to let it go. Someone's not going to take it out of my mouth and throw it. It's when I want to let it go. And so I just continued with it. And I just find, as in when I do any of my work, healing or general guidance for people, it's when you kind of say to the universe, I want to do something, and you're hell bent on it, and it's from your gut, your intuition, from that flame that you want to start relighting, things fall into place. And I call it this cogwheel effect, where your cogwheels fit with somebody, like me working with you, for example. There's a fit there, and then the attraction starts to build and you start to move through. That's how I find when you are set on something you want to do, then you can overcome lots of challenges, because it's something that you feel passionate about. And it's like people and situations and places are set up for you, because it's kind of like, if you, have a God that you pray to, or, believe in spirituality, the universe, things will set up in place for you to fall into place, and you will just be able to follow your
That is so true. That is so true. And just to give you've created a beautiful, the Mind Soul Expo, which
the Mind, Body and Soul Expo.
Mind, Body and Soul Expo. Yeah. Obviously, that was not only about flowers, and it had such a beautiful dynamic energy. Would you like to share with us what it is about, and how did it came about as well?
So the Mind, Body and Soul Expo came about for me in the group that I have, Green Stems. It's a group that, and you're part of it as well, aren't you? So it's where people who have a love for flowers, and believe in there's an energy behind it. So people in the group do love flowers, but don't just love the flowers. They're interested in the messages that are there. They're interested in the energy and spirituality, because that's what I'm speaking about. And I discovered when I was doing work with people in the group, whether it's healing or guidance or, you know, discovery calls with them, that everybody had something. They had a gift that they didn't want to share to everybody. They were too scared to share or didn't know how to go about sharing it. And it was just for me to encourage people in the group to share what they have, because everybody has such a diverse range of things that they do. From we've got someone who does kinesiology in there. We have soul purpose planner. We've got who else is in there besides yourself? We've got there's lots of people do work in there. There's a healing art work that goes on in there. Everybody's got some form of a gift that they can share, and this is what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to come together. So I kind of do everything in seasons, and it was just a case of come together on a certain day on my page, the Spiritual Flower Lady page, and in there it was like a whole day, a lineup of people to share their gifts different ways. We had the astrologer in there, and everybody got something from there because everybody believes in something. So it's just a taster for everyone to see what is out there. You know, if you just only know Reiki, then this was a chance for you to see that there's something else out there besides Reiki. Me doing flower card readings, there was just so many other people doing things in there. There's the numerologist. So it's just a taste for everybody to come on the page and show what they have. And also in the group, it was a case for everyone to sort of step out and see who was in that group and what the energy is like in that group. And there is a lot of beautiful energy in the group because everybody is kind of on the same page. We're all on the same vibration, the same frequency, if you want. So that's why in the group, I now just do it once a month where somebody has a whole day, like you had last month, to just share everything about themselves. Say as much or say as little as you want to say about yourself, but just step out and share what you have, and not to be afraid to show the world, show a group of people that what you have got.
Yeah, that was actually interesting. So when Yvette hosts the one day where she invites one of the people that is in the group to present what they do, I've noticed that for me it was really imperative to share my spirituality, and it was imperative because I don't show it so often on my day-to-day business. Even though I'm very spiritual, I like to meditate. I do a lot of tapping, emotional freedom technique. I personally, I do a lot of healing on myself. I believe in flower therapy. I believe in in Reiki, crystals and everything. So I believe that show would even have a place somewhere that is not even online, that would be outside of the online world, because I believe that it was so beautifully created and it was so inspirational that I would definitely recommend it. Yvette, so your career has been very interesting. So you mentioned to me that you were working in insurance for a while as well.
That was my part-time job, yes. That's when I kind of threw down the gauntlet and said, I'm not doing this anymore. That's when I had my children, and it was local to me, so I could just jump on the bus to Bromley and go in there and come back out. But that, I will say, did I mention the company name?
No, you haven't.
That was quite soul destroying in there. It was a beautiful place for people to get together and meet and do work, and it's local for a lot of people. But when it was like the end of the month or the end of a couple of months, when they had like your assessments, they really tore people down. And there was a number of ladies in there that just thought, I want to leave, but I can't leave.
Oh, wow.
What would I do what can I do? Because I'm not good at what I'm doing here. But then I remember saying to a lady, because this is when I thought, I'm not staying here any longer. I didn't have another job, but then a few months later, this is when I came up with the organic school clothing. But I remember saying to her, did you not have a job before you started here? And she's like, yes. And it's like, what did you do? So, you know, it's kind of reminding everybody and reminding myself that we did have something, and the job isn't one you have to stick in and be for life. I remember when I was young, I used to jump my jobs like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And my sister was one who really, she had some good jobs. She held them down and couldn't understand why you're jumping around. It was probably because I didn't find what I was looking for. Because as I said, I wanted to really be a fashion designer, and took secretarial work because it was a safe bet, because you're always going to get work and there's the income flowing in there. But then that stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. So again, when I did go into, I didn't go to any fashion like London School of Fashion or anything like that. It was private tutoring that I was doing at different schools. And so it was in my own time that I was learning how to do pattern cutting, learning about textiles and things like this. So I kind of, that flame was in me and I didn't put it out totally. It kind of just got dimmed until I could move around and jump around and find out where it is that I wanted to go. So the closest, besides doing things for myself, I ended up working in some garment manufacturers, which was a good experience. And I enjoyed it. I met some beautiful people, both companies I ended up being in there with. But yeah, the roads, you know, you're jumping, and my road was leading to me doing my own thing, and which has led me to the flowers.
That is really good, solid advice. Thank you for sharing that. And what advice would you give to anyone that might be looking into changing their careers, or perhaps create a career from their passions? What advice would you give to them?
I would say take that leap of faith. Which is really hard for some people. But if you've got a job, because a lot of people are in, we all need to work because we all need to make money. I've been fortunate enough that with my husband and myself, every time someone's had a great job, you know, we always backed each other up. So this is where I was able to run off and do what I wanted to do, and he can sometimes do what he wants to do. But it's been mainly me following my dreams, and he's been there to back me up. So it's great if you have someone to back you up and you really have had enough of something and you want to give it all you've got. But if you don't and you're doing a 9 to 5, still do that 9 to 5 and then still work on that thing that lights you up. Because there's nothing worse than doing it 9 to 5, and some jobs aren't just 9 to 5, they're like 9 to 8. You still go home and you're still tapping in on the email or whatever to do with work, and it does take over your life. Sometimes your life just takes over, and you end up feeling, you know, you go through life not fulfilling your dreams. And this is the other thing, you get a chance to fulfill part of your dream if you kind of step away from you doing a 9 to 5 and then still find that flame of the passion you have. And if you keep moving with the flame, you know, the momentum is building up on it, that you can probably end up leaving your job or doing it part-time, so it's not consuming a lot of your energy, because a lot more of your energy is going into what you really do. And this is one thing that I have learned my work with the flowers, that when I'm doing healing with anybody, even with the flower therapy workshops, it's always about igniting the flame that you have within you. So you know, it brings up different things, the sense of nostalgia, things that you used to enjoy doing. And with this lockdown that we've all been in, a lot of people have reconnected to themselves. And this is the other thing, that when I do work with the flowers, it's all about reconnecting to yourself, reigniting the fire that you had within you. And a lot of people have found that, you know, they've found art. A lot of people are doing a lot more artwork. Find that they're doing things, you know, cooking. We all knew what ingredients were because we just had takeaways or ready-made meals. But wow, all of this goes into making this complete meal. So it really was a time for reconnection.
And how was for you to, you know, how has been lockdown for you and for your business?
Where it came to making flower arrangements, because I do a lot of sympathy work, that was on hold because the place I get the flowers from, they weren't open due to the social distancing and everything else that was going on as well. But I still kept myself going because I do a lot of things online with the group and with the healing, which is all done at a distance. Card readings can be, everything I do is done through Zoom anyway. So I was able to still keep going. That side of the thing.
That is very interesting. So Yvette, what does the future hold for, you know, for Yvette's business, for Yvette's career? for your growth? What does the future hold for you?
For me, what I'm looking for is, I've always seen me having a little spiritual flower lady school. It's a place where I'll refer back to the workshops that I do. When people come into the workshops, I just let everybody know that we're all individual. I've been trained to create a flower bouquet, so yours probably is not going to look like mine. But it's for everyone to see their uniqueness and their individuality. So everyone has the same flowers, but they all turn out differently. So this is my, what I want to do with my school is open up people to their uniqueness, let them be able to, you don't have to follow the standard practice of what everyone else is doing. In a program that I've created, which is like the Power of Flowers Healer certification program, is where I'm teaching people my way of connecting with the flowers, but then also introducing them to connect with their uniqueness. Sorry, I thought I'd switch that off. Getting them to tap into their uniqueness and getting them to connect to their intuition and their psychic abilities, because everybody tunes into things differently. Some people see things, some people know by just knowing, and some people, you know, tune into things by hearing messages and, you know, music, sounds and things like this. So it's like a school of I'd say, you know, like X-Men, everyone's different, they've got their special powers. Hogwarts, everyone together, and just enhancing their the energy, the gifts that they have.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. And I love that you're comparing it to X-Men, because X-Men is so diverse. And
Yeah.
and I see from your teachings that you just want people to, you know, use their authentic self to come across, and to be able to connect to the flowers. And how people can enroll in your how people can enroll in your you know, the spiritual flower lady school.
Right now, you have to contact me. I haven't updated my website, so this is something I've been looking at the past couple of days. I realized I hadn't touched it for such a long time, so I'm getting everything together. I have actually had students already on it, so it hasn't been advertised or anything like that. It's just some people that I've done readings for have expressed an interest, and this is where it's all been created from. So they can get in touch with me for anything that anybody's interested in with the work that I do. You can always contact me through Messenger, Facebook pages, and my website, and express what it is that you're interested in, and I'll happily forward on all the details. But it should be up and running on the website, I would say, let's give myself the end of the week. All the details should be available then.
Wow, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. I mean, I personally, I mean, you are the first person and the only person I personally know that works with flowers and works with the energy of flowers. I've heard about many therapists, many healers, many different things. And there is a lot of people that are doing the same thing. However, I feel that your work with flowers is so unique, and it really stands out for me because I have not met anyone that does anything similar. What you know, for example, you know, just to give an idea, you also help people bring flowers into their businesses.
Yes. So with there are lots of people who do flower healing, but everyone does it their own way. Some people infuse Reiki with it. So I obviously, because I studied it, and there are other people involved, so that there are a few people out there, but everybody sort of does their own unique thing to it. And where it comes to my thing is encouraging people to use flowers wherever possible. So when it comes to your business, there are certain flowers that could enhance the modality or the energy of your business, to kind of give that extra boost, that extra energy towards your business, and, you know, outcomes in your business. Also, if you are say that you were a reflexologist or a Reiki healer, you could bring in the energy of certain flowers to do your healing with, where Reiki is concerned. And with reflexology, you've got the organs that you're connecting to. There's certain flowers that do connect with different organs as well. So there's a huge way that flowers can help you. Even in photography, with, you know, a lot of photographers bring in flowers. Some people just run to the petrol station and get a bunch of flowers, but there could be flowers that they could be using that could enhance the energy of what's going on. If it was a wedding, certain flowers that represent love, or reflects the unity of a wedding. So there's lots of different ways that flowers can bring in. And even when I do the arrangements, it's also it's to reflect. There's always at least 3 flowers in there that will reflect the occasion of the event. So the energy of your event, the occasion, or even your brand will always be showing up in the arrangement, that one of the flowers that I've chosen for you. So that's where I bring it into your brand. And I did one for a lady a couple of weeks ago, and it was interesting because I was just thinking of the pink rose, and it was interesting how different shades of the pink rose was coming through for her. So there was one with more intensity. It's like she's got a lot of power and a lot of powerful women that she's working with. So different tones of flowers can also be used to sort of amplify your message for your brand.
Wow, that is super, super interesting. I mean, I personally, when I've started my business and when I've created my logo, I've used a tree as a symbol, because I wanted to be rooted, but yes, yeah. At the same time, I wanted to be stretching out of my comfort zone, and helping my clients do the same. If you were to recommend a flower that symbolizes that, what flower would that be? Just curious.
Symbolize something grounding energy.
Yeah, grounding, but yet expansive.
Right now, not a particular flower, but a tree comes to mind, because you said trees, and the tree would be the magnolia tree. So it'd be the pink magnolia. Because when you said it initially, I thought, right, initially I immediately thought it's the grounding energy. And as you're grounding, the trees, as you said, you're just spreading out, and the leaves, the branches, everything else is an extension of yourself. But the magnolia tree is one that helps you to ground, like your dreams, your manifestations, what you're thinking about. So having that image, you don't have to have the physical tree. This is the other thing. It's not, you're going to have to go out and get a magnolia tree and plant it in your garden or anything like that. If you've got a windowsill, you're not going to have to put the seeds of a magnolia tree in there. It's having the image of the tree.
Wow, I'm
have
definitely
it in your background, then that's kind of emphasizing your energy.
Wow, that's so interesting. I mean, as I said, once you start speaking with Yvette about flowers, you will never look at them exactly the same way again, never. Which is, which is an absolute pleasure, because I do love learning everything that you teach about flowers, their energy, the colors. Absolutely everything that is interconnected. And yeah, I love flowers. I'm not really good at gardening. I can't care for flowers, but I do love seeing them and appreciating their beauty. Yvette, I personally don't have any more questions. Would you like to leave a message to all of the people that are listening to us? Thank you everyone on Instagram to joining. I've seen your messages, but because the phone is a bit far away, I can't always, go and, respond or, give you a wave. The same with Facebook. I find it distracting because it's delayed compared to Zoom. So I tend to navigate between the two screens. So it's a bit difficult. But, I will respond to all your comments. I really appreciate all of you being here. So Yvette, would you like to leave us with some words of wisdom?
I would just say to everybody, as is when I do my group speeches and things like this, it's when you are taking a walk out in nature, because this is also a nature connection thing with the flowers, it's taking notice of nature as you're walking through it. You're walking through a park and sometimes a flower catches your eye, or you're walking down a road and lots of flowers are in people's gardens. If a flower kind of really just steps out at you, just take a minute to stand and acknowledge it, because what flowers are doing, they're actually they're communicating with you. The same way we would talk to plants in our house to make them grow. They are kind of communicating with you. It's a communication that you don't understand because it's not a verbal one that you're going to have a conversation with. But they are healing, they are loving, and it's all just about you taking that time out, that moment, and connecting. Just acknowledgement of the flower is one thing. And then once you sort of acknowledging it, and that's looking at the color, the beauty that it has, you kind of then can get drawn into it. So you're looking deeper into the flower, which is how I first found my connection with them. And you may not on your conscious level understand what you needed to know, but your subconscious, your soul will get that message. It could just be the energy of the flower was to send, a little boost of love towards your heart chakra. So you've lent in, you've inhaled, you've taken in the scent of that flower, but you've taken in more than what you know that you've taken in. So I would just always say, and also when there's lots of people who have beautiful gardens, myself, I'm like you, I'm not a great gardener, but I can work wonders with flowers, cut flowers. Bring your flowers in from the garden. I'm not telling you to cut down the whole rose bush. Just snip parts of the flower of the bush, any flowers you have, and then bring that energy into the home, because you're bringing your outside inside, and you're actually moving this energy around, and it's following you. So it's not just there for you when you go out into your garden. And those who don't have gardens, go out and buy yourself flowers. Bring in the energy of flowers into your home.
Wow. That is wonderful. That is really, really wonderful. And thank you very much for sharing that. I was just thinking, for anyone that is watching and maybe is adventuring on a new career path, I don't know if you have any flower in mind that could support them on that journey, new beginnings, new career.
There's quite a few flowers that just popped up in my head for that. So daffodils, which are I think they might have all faded really by now. They are one of communication, and they are another one for focusing your attention. Right now, actually, poppies are all around the place. So if a poppy catches your eye, I would kind of tune into that poppy, because poppies help you to manifest, and it's also about the power of possibilities. So if you have this fleeting thought in your mind that I really want to go and I want to sing, actually I really want to do it more passionately than what I'm doing now, and then you just turn around and it's a massive poppy. It doesn't have to actually be out in the garden or on the street or anywhere else. It could be on someone's t-shirt, it could be an image on the van that's been going about, or a billboard. They are signs, and it's for everyone to sort of take notice. The universe sends us signs all the time. And if we're closed because we're consciously thinking, we're trying to predict what we want to do. But if you kind of just let go and just say your thoughts and they flow out, positive thoughts, you'll be surprised that the universe does send you signals, signs for you to follow. So if you walked out and you saw a poppy and it caught your eye, then you would think about, what did I just think about? Oh, I said I wanted to go and sing. This is letting you know possibilities. If you're really sure about what you want to do, go for it, and we'll kind of pave the way for you.
Wow, that is amazing. That is really, really powerful and inspiring. And thank you very much for sharing.
You're welcome.
And sorry for the noise of the car. Good. So, Yvette, I wanted just to say thank you so much for taking your time to sharing your story with us, and to inspiring all of us to look at flowers in much different way, but also to showing how, if something is not there, like, there was not, you could not find the clothes for your children, and you went out and you just created that because you needed it. I really, really admire you for it, and I really admire that, and thankful that you share this story with our communities, because I believe it can help so many people, in their career journey, in finding what is that they are passionate about, and in pursuing their passion into a successful career as well. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Make sure that you tune in on Thursday. On Thursday, we will be having Joanna Curtis. Joanna is a HR professional. We did study together HR, which was quite interesting, and that's how we met each other. She is a professional, and she is an incredible professional. She is also... she has done incredible things, and I'm going to be quizzing her about her skydive, which she did with her son about a year ago for charity. So come and tune in to learn more about Joanna Curtis career in recruitment and HR. She is an incredible professional, and I hope you all to see you all there. For today, I just want to make sure that you look after yourselves and look after each other, and make sure you go and smell the flowers or get flowers for yourself. It
All
is,
the roses.
yeah. Yes, and it is a beautiful thing. I mean, I bought these flowers for myself on Sunday, and trust me, they're doing their magic, because I feel so good having them. For today, I want to say thank you for watching. If you like what you're watching, if you like the career champions, make sure you share it with your friends, with your family, even with your enemies. I think that, you know, the more people we reach out, the more people that can have, you know, a strong career or a career of their dreams, you know, the less mourners we will have in our planet, and happier, everyone will be a lot happier. So for today, I leave you with this, you know, be awesome. Be inspired, and be you, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.